Get serious. That's where everything begins. That decision, that moment when you stop playing games with your own life. There is no trick, no shortcut, no hack that can replace it. You have to decide right now that this life matters. I'm 70 years old, and let me tell you this straight, it goes fast. Faster than you can imagine. One moment you're young, thinking you've got all the time in the world, and the next, you're standing in the back half of your story asking where it all went. When you're young, you believe time is infinite, like it owes you something. It doesn't. Time is the most limited, non-renewable resource you will ever have, and the most dangerous lie you can believe is, "I've got time." There's a quote painted on a gym wall from Rocky III. It says, "There is no tomorrow." That's not a movie line. That's tomorrow isn't guaranteed. It isn't promised. It doesn't exist until you arrive. What's real is this moment, this breath, this decision. If you're lucky, you'll get about 75 years. That's 75 winters, 75 springs, 75 summers, feeling the sun on your skin, 75 autumns, watching the leaves fall. When you stop seeing life as a blur of decades and start seeing it as a limited number of experiences, you realize how fast it all goes and how sacred every single one is. So stop wasting them. Stop burning seasons chasing distractions, running in circles, numbing yourself with entertainment, scrolling past your own potential. Step out of the rat race. Step away from the noise, the opinions, the pressure to fit in, to keep up, to impress. Come back to what matters. Come back to yourself. Because what actually matters isn't likes, cars, money, or titles. It's the work. It's who you become when nobody's watching. It's how you move in silence. It's how you carry yourself when there's no applause. Change doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't show up with fireworks. It starts small, quiet, almost invisible, like two boats sailing side by side. And one shifts just 5 degrees. Nothing dramatic, nothing flashy, but give it enough time, and that boat ends up in a completely different destination. That's how transformation works. And here's the hard truth. The next year is going to pass no matter what you do. 10 months from now, someone will look in the mirror and say, "I'm proud of who I became." And someone else will look back and realize they wasted another year. Which one will you be? Maybe you're thinking it's too late. You're too far behind, too out of shape, too broke, too tired, too damaged. You're not. Not if you start now. Progress is momentum. Small steps, small wins. One tiny shift, then another, and eventually those shifts turn into a wave. One day you'll look back and realize you're not stuck in that same cycle anymore. You broke it, because here's the truth most people ignore. If you don't get better, you get worse. There is no standing still. Time keeps moving. You're either rising with it or letting it bury you. So write it down. Everything. What you want. What you need. What has to change. What you've been avoiding. Don't just think it. Ink it. Put it on paper. Set goals for today, for this month, for the next 5 years. Break them into actions. Build a checklist and force yourself to follow through. Because the difference between a dream and a goal is a deadline and accountability. And accountability is everything. A friend, a mentor, or the person staring back at you in the mirror. Ask yourself every single day, did I do what I said I would do? If the answer is no, you go again. If it's yes, you stack the win. That's how self-respect is built, one promise kept at a time. Someday isn't coming. It doesn't exist. Monday exists. Tuesday exists. Someday is a lie we tell ourselves to stay comfortable while nothing changes. You want change? Stop waiting for the perfect time. Take a step. A small one, then another. No one climbs a mountain in one jump. It's one step, one ledge, one painful reach at a time. And understand this. If you're ambitious, you're always going to feel behind. That's not failure. That's the fight. Winning doesn't feel like winning. Most of the time it feels like pressure, frustration, a little doubt, a little confusion, and only a tiny moment of victory before your eyes move to the next goal. That's the reality of high performers. The easy lives you see online, the cars, the beaches, the parties, that's not real life. That's a highlight reel. The people who actually build something meaningful live in friction, in resistance, in uncomfortable spaces. They don't chase comfort. They chase discipline, clarity, mastery. So if you're struggling, good. That means you're still in the fight. Stop waiting for motivation. Build habits. Build discipline. Build armor. Because the moment you take control of your actions, you start rewriting your story. There is no tomorrow. There is only now. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. You need a decision. One real decision can change everything. Make it today. If you want, next message me continue, and I'll carry this same exact flow forward without breaking tone or format. Listen carefully, because this is where most people fall apart. There isn't a single high-level competitor on this planet, not one champion, not one elite performer, who hasn't felt exactly how you feel right now. Lost, tired, underappreciated, frustrated, questioning themselves in the dark. The difference is not talent. It's not luck. It's not genetics. It's that at some point, they got serious. Not angry at the world, not bitter, just serious, calm, focused, locked in. And they got serious about two things that shape the rest of your life, whether you like it or not. First, your goals. Where are you actually going? Not what sounds good to say, not what looks impressive online. Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years? What do you want to build? What kind of life do you want to wake up into? Who do you want to become when everything is stripped away? Because if you don't take the time to design that future, life will design it for you. And life doesn't care about your comfort. It will drag you wherever momentum takes you. But if you want control, if you want to rise instead of drift, you have to be deliberate. You have to choose. You have to get hungry enough to stop accepting whatever comes your way. Second, personal development. Becoming the kind of person who can carry the weight of their own dreams. Because you don't get what you want in life. You get what you are. 10 years from now, you will be someone. That's guaranteed. The only question is whether that person is built on purpose or formed by default. Are you becoming stronger, sharper, more disciplined? Or are you just aging? Because time passing is not growth. Growth is earned. I had a moment once, standing in a filthy place. Roaches crawling, rats running, chaos everywhere. I looked around and something hit me hard. This isn't just where I am. This is who I am right now. This mess is a reflection of me. And in that moment, something snapped. Not anger. Clarity. I said no more. I walked out, got in my truck, drove away. And that night, I started working like a man who knew there was no backup plan. Not because someone motivated me, not because someone believed in me, but because I knew if I didn't become someone new, I'd rot as the old version forever. I had to invent a person that didn't exist yet. Someone who could handle pain. Someone who could take ridicule. Someone who could stay standing when things got uncomfortable. I had to build a mind with calluses, a soul that could endure, a drive that didn't fold when it got dark. And that version of me was forged in suffering, in doubt, in silence, in moments where every voice said, "You're not enough. You'll fail. This won't work." Good. I loved that. Because this fight was never about proving anyone else wrong. It was about beating me, the old me, the weak habits, the excuses. If I beat that version every day, I won. Nothing else mattered. So ask yourself this. If your life were a movie and the story started right now, what would the hero do next? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. You already know the answer. You've always known. The problem was never knowledge. It was courage. So write it down. What changes? What ends? What you will no longer tolerate? What you're committing to become? Put it where you can see it. Read it when you don't feel like moving. That's how transformation starts. Not with hype. With small acts of courage, repeated daily. We live in a time where you choose what you feed your mind. Every day, every hour, books, videos, voices. That means you choose who you become. A mind is a blade, and blades are sharpened by fire, not comfort. They are heated, beaten, tested. That's life. Nobody grows coasting downhill. You only get stronger walking uphill. Success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by becoming the kind of person who can hold it. So stop chasing. Start building. Build habits. Build discipline. Audit your thoughts. Guard your mind like your life depends on it. Because it does. There comes a point where being average starts to hurt, where mediocrity burns, where waking up and repeating the same routine feels like slow death. And when that fire shows up, most people run from it. They numb it. They distract themselves. But that fire is your calling. It's always been there. The gift, the obsession, the thing you're afraid to fully commit to. Because failure would hurt too much. But the truth is, not trying hurts more. The day you stop running from that fire is the day your life actually begins. So, get uncomfortable. Push yourself to the edge. Then, push a little further. The life you want does not come from waiting. It comes from war. A war with comfort. A war with excuses. A war with the old version of you. And that war starts today. Every single day. It's brutal. It's lonely. And most people can't handle it. They ask, "Are you happy?" They don't understand. This isn't about happiness. It's about pride. Pride in knowing you didn't quit. Pride in knowing you survived what would have broken most people. You will be misunderstood. You will be judged. You will be called obsessed, insane, too much. Good, that's the price. You will lose people. You will outgrow rooms. You will no longer fit in conversations about comfort and excuses. Because when passion overtakes comfort, balance disappears. Focus replaces distraction, and you enter a place very few people can live in, where normal doesn't apply, where average feels unbearable, where obsession beats talent every single time. This has always been you versus you. On the field, in the gym, in the quiet moments when no one's watching. Are you acting like the best version of yourself? If not, get better. You can. You have the mind. You have the heart. You have the ability to decide, to study, to train, to break cycles, to build a life most people only talk about. So ask yourself again, honestly, without excuses. Why not you? Let me tell you something about the journey, because this is where the truth really shows itself. It's not pretty. It's not cinematic. It's raw. It's daily. It's waking up when your body hurts, when your mind is heavy, when your soul feels tired, and moving anyway. Back in the military, we used to run under instructors. Most of the time, we knew the route. We knew where it started and where it ended. And when guys recognized familiar ground, they'd start smiling. Their shoulders would relax. Their energy would come back because they thought it was almost over. And every now and then, the instructor would hear that joy and keep running right past the endpoint. Just like that, everything changed. Smiles disappeared. Heads dropped. Nobody spoke. And that's when I started watching closely. Because in that moment, I could see exactly what broke inside of them. They were running on hope. They hoped it would end. They hoped it wouldn't get harder. They hoped someone would save them. I don't live on hope. I want the water cold. I want the rain heavy. I want the distance unknown. Because when the finish line disappears, that's when you find out who you really are. So where do you go when it's cold, wet, dark, and there's no clear end? When your knees ache, your back is screaming, your shirt is soaked, and your mind is begging you to stop. What do you do then? Do you get up, or do you start talking? Do you start negotiating with yourself? It's warm in bed. I'll start tomorrow. I didn't sleep well. I've had a long day. Most people talk. They explain. They justify. They comfort themselves with words. I move. Because I already know most people won't do what I do. And that's fine. That's the separation. Most people are afraid of the first step, not because they can't take it, but because their mind races 10 miles ahead to everything that could go wrong. That's not how greatness is built. You are not bound. You are not trapped. You are limited only by discipline. Talent means nothing without it. Intelligence means nothing without it. The moment life applies pressure without discipline, you fold. That's why motivation is useless. It shows up when it wants and disappears when you need it most. Discipline stays. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. People spend their lives searching for purpose, money, fame, recognition. But purpose is simpler than that. It's becoming who you're capable of being. That's the mission. That's the work. And every morning I don't feel like doing something, I ask myself one question. Do you want to feel weak today? Do you want to know you could have done more, but chose comfort instead? Because comfort is killing people, killing dreams, killing discipline, killing potential. It's too cold, too hot, too hard, too early. Enough excuses. You do the work because your mind must lead your body, not the other way around. If you want to win, You show up when it hurts. If you want to grow, you train when you don't want to. Pain passes. Fatigue passes. Seasons pass. But habits stay. Mindset stays. Discipline stays. You have to learn to perform without motivation, without hype, without a pep talk. You move when there's no applause, no support, no spotlight. Because most people only show up when it's convenient. What happens when the money runs out? When the lights get cut off? When nobody believes in you anymore? When the plan fails? Do you stop or do you adjust and keep going? Every person who ever built something meaningful faced rejection, faced doubt, faced silence. The hungry keep going. The hopeful wait. And when the noise fades and it's just you and your thoughts, that's when you find out if this was ever real to you. Motivation burns out. Passion fades. Discipline remains. Discipline is the edge. Discipline is the hammer. I wake up most days without fire, without excitement, without any rush. And I move anyway. I don't wait to feel ready. I execute. I show up. And once I start, the fire comes. Not before. After. People ask why I don't go out, why I don't relax, why I'm always training, always studying, always working. They don't understand, and they don't need to. Because this life isn't built on balance. It's built on obsession, on sacrifice, on choosing the long road when everyone else takes the easy one. While they're talking, I'm preparing. While they're resting, I'm sharpening. While they're hoping, I'm working. You want to be great? Then accept this. You will be misunderstood. You will be alone at times. You will be uncomfortable often. That's the cost. You don't get extraordinary results living an ordinary life. You don't get uncommon strength choosing common habits. This is a lonely path, but it's a powerful one. And if you truly love this game, if this calling burns in your chest, then go all in, because obsession will beat talent every single time. This game has never been about anyone else. Not the crowd. Not the critics. Not the people ahead of you or behind you. It's always been you versus you. The moment you step onto the field, into the gym, into the work, the noise disappears, and all that's left is that voice in your head, the one asking if you're really about this life or just talking. If you say you want to be the best, then you have to live like it, train like it, think like it, move like it, speak like it. And if you're not there yet, then you don't complain. You build. You already have what you need. You've got a brain that can learn, a body that can adapt, a heart that can take more than you think, and the power to decide. You can study. You can practice. You can fail and come back smarter. You can break cycles that ran through your family for generations. You can build security so strong around the people you love that chaos can't touch it. You can become healthy. You can become strong. You can become wealthy. You can become dangerous in the best way. None of that is fantasy. It's all available to you if you're willing to pay the price. So ask yourself again, honestly, why not you? Why not be the one who didn't quit? Why not be the one who outworked the doubt? Why not be the one who turned pressure into fuel instead of excuses? The only reason most people don't make it is because they stop. They get tired of being uncomfortable. They get tired of not being praised. They get tired of not seeing results fast enough. But results are delayed, always. The work comes first. The reward comes later. This journey is brutal. It strips you down. It exposes your weaknesses. It forces you to face yourself without distractions. And most people can't stand that silence. They fill it with noise, with people, with entertainment, with excuses. But in that silence, that's where you're built. That's where you become someone new. Not overnight. Not in one breakthrough moment, but brick by brick, rep by rep, choice by choice. You don't need to feel confident to act. Confidence is built by action. You don't need to feel fearless. Fear never leaves. You just learn to move with it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's doing the work while fear is screaming at you to stop. Every day you show up when it's hard, you change the way you see yourself. You start to trust yourself, and that trust becomes power. Let me tell you this clearly. Nobody is coming to save you. There's no rescue team, no perfect moment, no magical break. There is only you, your choices, and your discipline. And that's not bad news. That's freedom, because it means your future isn't decided by luck or circumstances. It's decided by what you do when it's hard, when it's boring, when it hurts, when nobody's watching. So, stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to feel inspired. Stop waiting for approval. Get up. Do the work. Execute the plan. Adjust when you fail. And then execute again. This is how winners are built. Not in comfort, not in ease, but in repetition, in pressure, in showing up long after the excitement is gone. There will be days you question everything. Days you feel slow, behind, off track. That's normal. That's part of the process. What's not normal is quitting. What's not normal is giving up on yourself because it got uncomfortable. You didn't come this far to stop now. And even if you're at the beginning, that doesn't matter. What matters is that you start and you keep going. This path demands everything from you. Your time, your energy, your focus. But in return, it gives you something most people never get. Self-respect, pride, identity, the knowledge that you became who you were capable of becoming, and that feeling, that quiet strength, that unshakable confidence is worth every sacrifice. So when it gets heavy, remember this. You chose this. You chose growth over comfort. You chose discipline over excuses. You chose the hard path because the easy one leads nowhere. Stay on it. Stay locked in. Stay serious. Because at the end of this, when you look back at your life, you won't remember the days you rested. You'll remember the days you didn't quit. And that's what makes it all worth it. And understand this too. There will come a moment when you realize something most people never do. The world doesn't reward intention. It rewards execution. It doesn't care how bad you want it, how unfair it feels, how much potential you think you have. The world only responds to what you do consistently. That's it. You either produce or you fade into the background like everyone else who talked a big game and quit when it got uncomfortable. There will be days when nothing works, when the effort feels invisible, when you're putting everything in and getting nothing back. No results, no validation, no signs that it's paying off. Those are the most important days, because that's when discipline is tested. Anyone can work when they're motivated. Anyone can push when they're winning. Very few can stay locked in when it feels pointless. But that's where the separation happens. That's where most people fall off, and where the few who keep going pull away forever. You have to accept that loneliness is part of the process. Growth isolates you. When you stop partying, when you stop wasting time, when you stop entertaining nonsense, people will feel it. Some will mock you. Some will test you. Some will try to pull you back into the version of you that made them comfortable. Don't get angry. Don't explain. Just keep moving. Silence is power. Results speak louder than arguments ever will. There will be times when your mind turns against you, when it reminds you of every past failure, every weakness, every reason you should slow down. That voice never goes away. You don't silence it. You dominate it with action. You show it proof. You train when it says rest. You work when it says wait. You move when it says stop. Over time, that voice loses authority. Not because it disappears, but because you stop listening to it. This is where identity is forged, not when you feel strong, but when you act strong without feeling it. Not when you feel confident, but when you execute while doubting yourself. That's how you become dangerous. Not loud, not flashy. Dangerous in discipline, dangerous in consistency. Dangerous because you don't break when pressure shows up. And make no mistake, pressure will come. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Progress will stall. And you'll be faced with the same choice over and over again. Do I quit? Or do I adapt? Do I complain? Or do I adjust? Do I collapse? Or do I rise? Every time you choose to rise, even slightly, you reshape who you are. Those choices compound quietly, relentlessly. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Not your family, not your friends, not the internet. The only proof that matters is the one you show yourself when you look in the mirror and know you didn't lie to yourself today. That you did the work. That you showed up. That you didn't run. That kind of honesty builds a strength that can't be taken from you. One day, not suddenly, not dramatically, you'll realize you're no longer the same person. The things that used to break you won't even shake you. The habits that felt hard will feel normal. The discipline that felt heavy will feel like freedom. And people will say you got lucky. Let them. Luck looks a lot like consistency to people who never stayed long enough to see results. So keep going, even when it's boring, especially when it's boring. Keep going when it's heavy, when it's quiet, when nobody's clapping. Because this isn't about a moment. It's about a lifetime. It's about becoming someone you respect, someone who didn't waste the gift of time, someone who answered the call instead of muting it. You don't need a new year. You don't need a new plan. You don't need a new version of motivation. You need to stay serious. You need to stay disciplined. You need to stay in the fight, because the fight is where you're built. So let this be the end of the excuses. Let this be the moment you stop negotiating with your potential. You already know what you need to do. You've always known. The problem was never clarity. It was commitment. And commitment isn't a feeling. It's a decision you remake every single day, especially on the days you don't want to. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to clap for you at the start. Most of this road will be walked alone. And that's not a weakness. That's where strength is built. That's where character is forged. In the quiet mornings, in the tired nights, in the moments where quitting would be easier than continuing. You don't need to be special. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to be relentless. Relentless in showing up. Relentless in doing the work. Relentless in refusing to go back to the old version of you that almost gave up. Years from now, when you look back at this moment, it won't be the comfort you remember. It will be the fight, the days you pushed when it hurt, the discipline you built when motivation was gone, the pride of knowing you didn't waste your time, your talent, your life. This is it. This is the line. This is the moment the story changes. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, get serious. Stay serious. And don't stop until the version of you in your head is standing in front of you. That's the mission. That's the work. And it starts and ends with you.